Hi everyone, to anyone who's watching, hope everyone's doing okay. My name's Trey Rigling. I'm your classmate if you don't remember me. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit about clean water access issues. And my group, we had a subtopic of Flint, Michigan. So clean water access issues within Flint, Michigan. So the issue began April 24th or April 25th, 2014, sorry. And what happened was the water source was switched to the Flint River, and this in turn caused many people to be poisoned by lead. So what we're going to be talking about today is how the Flint water crisis had a direct effect, or has a direct effect, on children's health and well-being. Uh, the first main point I'm going to be talking about is how this is a problem. In an article titled "Perspective: How the Flint Water Crisis Set Back Thousands of Students," Valerine Strauss exclaims, quote, "State officials advise that many as 9,000 children under the age of 6 in Flint are being treated as having been exposed to high levels of lead after the city's drinking water supply was switched in 2014 from water from Lake Huron to water from the Flint River." End quote. This is an important note because 9,000 children is a significant number of kids. In a clinical study titled "A Clinical Study of the Effects of Lead Poisoning on Intelligence and Neurobehavioral Abilities of Children," lead poisoning had a negative correlation with various aspects of development, including fine motor skills, language development, and individual social behavior. This is super important because a child's future and well-being, it's staged in early years of life where they're learning new things, learning how to interact with other children, and learning new things in school. And with lead poisoning affecting these aspects of a child's young life, it really diminishes their future and is very harmful for them. In another research article titled "Interpreting and Managing Blood Levels of Less Than 10 Micrograms in Children and Reducing Childhood Exposure to Lead," recommendations of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention Advisory Committee on Childhood Lead Poisoning Preventions, the researchers explained how once lead has entered the blood, it can take several months to decline. This is super important when it comes to the aspect of um, a solution, which we'll discuss a little later on, because of longevity. So these children aren't going to be just suffering for a short time period. It's not like they're ill for a month or stuff like that. They could be ill for up to a year, several years, and these various side effects of lead poisoning are going to be very prevalent throughout their childhood, and it's very unfortunate. So the how this happened how this happened, we're going to talk about like what caused this. According to history.com, the beginning of the crisis started April 25th, 2014, when they switched the water sources. um, why they switched the water sources is they really wanted to switch because they would save them money, and by saving money it really didn't help the community at all. It actually made it worse. And what they failed to do was test the water via EPA guidelines, and they didn't test for corrosion control, so there was a lack of corrosion control. And corrosion control is when um, certain materials from pipes leak out into the water. So they used lead pipes, and lead leaked out from the pipes into the water, which then caused people to drink the lead contaminated water and caused the water to be bad for them. To understand a solution, it's very important to think of it as a prevention to prevent future things. So to prevent these things from happening, it's very important for us to follow EPA guidelines when it comes to standards of testing, and we need to test more frequently and thoroughly, because if we can catch something like this before it happens or during a switch, then we're more likely to prevent multiple people from becoming affected by it, especially children, and we can get awareness out quicker. And prevention tactics are the best solution because it's very hard to revert effects once it does occur in an individual. And this problem isn't just in Flint, Michigan. Many other places are suffering from lead exposure issues. And this will allow us to save a bunch of other people from lead poisoning. To reiterate, the main problem for this is children are suffering from lead poisoning. Over 9,000 children in Flint are suffering from lead poisoning, and this was caused by the change of water sources and the lack of corrosion control through those water sources. The main solution would be to follow EPA guidelines in order to prevent other things from happening. And something we can do to help that is we can make informed, educated votes and vote for politicians who are more caring about environmental issues and clean water access issues. It's also important to note that we can test water ourselves and make sure that we are okay, and if something does happen where we switch water sources, we can test it ourselves. And another thing that we can do is we can spread awareness and knowledge on the topic itself. Thank you for listening. I hope all of you have a good rest of your day and night. Take care.